Time out is Kelsito getting you a shape before for the age of Aquarius. Shout out to everybody in here. Let me just wipe this off real quick. Make sure we're good. What's going on, everyone? What's going on, everyone? Hold on. What's going on, everyone? What's going on? Yeah. And the witchcraft that they're kind of doing around this time, because we in the emotional sense of our chakra that we own, and our chakra that we own is, which I'll call is Earth, but it's also called Gaia. Some people call it Tiamat, And when we get when our chakra is rotating, based upon, what we give our energy to, the sun, and we separate from the body of water we call the sun the most. We experience the winter time, so this is like the emotional time. It's like the feeling time. It's like when you in your emotions and feelings and shit like that. So, we all could be like, and more so in our internal realm with our subconscious, because y'all understand, like, what we're on is getting influenced by the sun. So it's not like it's all one thing, but for the most part, it has different pieces of it. And that's what we get relationship from. And so it's like when you start relating with another piece of the water and shit like that, is different elements and shit that play out and that go into that space. So in summertime, in springtime, we get more so of the sun. So we get more, of those elements, of those mixtures, and that play out externally as we see in the environment, what grows, what creatures come out, what plants bloom and stuff like that. And then we have our internal natures, what feelings and emotions we derive, what grow out of our seed, what thoughts, what have we been creating over the winter time, what have we been creating over this, so it's like that type of shit. So let me make sure the lighting good. It's like that type of shit, so we in a part of winter right now. So, this is Aquarius season, so we in the middle of winter. So we are below the horizon, like we always at the bottom type shit. So when we get up here, when we go up, that's like going forward type shit. So that would be like summers right here, Leo, Cancer, and shit like that. When we fall and shit, we go to the left and shit like that. So we get more separate. We start to detach more. We start worried about who with us, Libra, we start getting into our emotions more. Scorpio, and we start gaining wisdom. That's Sagittarius. When spring comes, we experience Aries season. We get ready, we get passionate to go. We experience Taurus season, where we out, working and shit like that, getting prepared, enjoying the fruits of life, get ready to manifest, getting secure and shit like that. And then we get Cancer, Gemini season and shit like that. So that's like leading into summer. So you got to know your directions. This water, this rules air, this rules fire because it's east and shit like that. And this rules these three up top. They rule earth. All right. So you just had to break that down because we're going to get y'all in the mind state of like how they are able to play off, certain mind states you are in your mind state. So that's what you are aware of, and what you're consciously aware of as well. So we're going to talk about the mindset that they got us going through right now, and they kind of getting prepared to do like this full moon ritual shit based upon, whatever they've been putting out in entertainment, whatever they've been putting out as far as music and shit like that, whatever they've been playing on the radio, because it's all about you coming to the same conclusions that this is their family witchcraft. They want y'all to all come to the same conclusions that they came to. And when you come to the same conclusions they came to, if you're a spirit within a body, your only choice is to realize that, oh shit, you got to kind of do something like them and shit like that, where you got to create a government. You got to, use witchcraft for your own, own purposes and shit like that. You can't have no other way than you join them, which is their, they scout you and shit like that, or and you become one of the behind the scenes, um, working with the government behind the scenes, or you'll become working with the government on a rock to sleep in, pretty much where you're a puppet, like you like an entertainer, you like a celebrity and shit like that, where you just kind of be one of the men and women, which is what they create as thought forms to make it seem like the world is all good. So whatever virtues and principles you uphold as a person, you know what I'm saying, and shit like that, they're going to use you as an influence to give you celebrity power, money, resources, and let you be the example of what others need to do and what not to do if you fall out in line, if you start speaking out, if you start, you know what I'm saying, that type of shit. So that's how they kind of construct the government, you know what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to movie witchcraft, now what is witchcraft? Witchcraft, okay. Witchcraft is, I think mommy got me. Now, witchcraft is more so correlated to the internal. You know what I'm saying? So this is witch. So witch is correlated with bitch. It's correlated with, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying, that is all. It's a feeling we all got. You know what I'm saying. Everybody can be a bitch. A male can be a bitch. A female can be a bitch. You know what I'm saying. So this is what um, this is correlated to. And when you get witchcraft, witchcraft is a specific type of witchcraft will be like more so internal because it's correlated to the feminine and it's correlated to what's dark and you can't see. So anytime somebody can manipulate you emotionally and make you come to conclusions of what, you know what I'm saying, you supposed to be, conclusions that you didn't necessarily have in your mind anyway, and you come to those conclusions yourself and shit like that, and they stop you from going somewhere. Or it can be good witchcraft too, where it help you get to the next stage, kind of, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of in between. Ain't no such thing as really good and bad. It's more so whatever you do it for. But you know what I'm saying? If you get manipulated by this person's emotion and they trying to come to you with an emotion and you follow that line of reasoning or that line of thought, you just got practice witchcraft on. So for instance, if you wanted to be a painter in life and shit like that, and your mama said, you can't do that because of this and this and this and this and that. She just used witchcrafts. And if you believe that, if you believed into that, you made that feeling and shit like that, damn, I can't do this shit, whatever. You know what I'm saying? This is somebody else using witchcraft because they're only coming up with those thoughts and emotions based upon those thoughts and emotions based upon what they can do. And what they can do is already constructed within the government of what can and can't be done. So this is shadow government witchcraft. You get what I'm saying? So when we get to movies and shit like that, now that's a different, it's not much more of a different subject. They use the same tactics. They use manipulation, they use emotional manipulation and things in that nature for y'all to come up with the same conclusions that they came to, that the people around you ain't shit, that you can't necessarily kick it with motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can't have real type relationships, you know what I'm saying? And fight each other to the death for y'all gonna fight each other over the crumbs and shit like that and the resources. So this is what they're kind of putting out within, you know what I'm saying, this movie Avatar that we're gonna get into on a percentage level, because it's like they throw shit out and they kind of just hope y'all catch on to it. But sometimes y'all do, depending on like other shit that they be playing into and like whatever they want to do with that. So when we got concepts and shit like that, as far as witchcraft, you know, you being a black person or whatever, or you being or this concept. So they'll take representations of those characteristics and shit like that, because y'all only playing out what y'all mind can think is possible. So if y'all have a certain length of possibility or a certain measure of possibility and you go in with that measure, they can take that measure and present it onto you a stage and show you like outcomes depending on this some deep shit. Like this not, you know what I'm saying? This some deeper shit. But yeah, they can take like give you certain outcomes in your mind based upon the people in your environment non-supporting you with your own idea, non-supporting you with your own way of thinking, you will only come to conclusions that they want you to come to and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's how they capture a certain energy and then transmute that shit. Shout out to Infinitely Sacred Health. So yeah, so that's what we doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they do with the government movie Witchcraft and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They give y'all representations of y'all self and shit like that. Now, witchcraft, like I said, is just emotional manipulation. So anytime, you know what I'm saying, somebody tries to emotionally manipulate you into coming to this conclusion, they just practice witchcraft. Now, people can do that for good reasons or negative reasons. It's on the spirit that do that and shit like that. Now, let's get to this movie though, because this why I thought this was talk worthy, because you know, especially where I stay and shit like that, and you know what I'm saying, this is what the like you might not go see a movie, right? But like 80% of your hood might go see a movie, or your or the country you in or shit like that, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? They might go see the movie and you might not think it affect you personally because you are, you know what I'm saying, you are one person and shit like that. You ain't giving your attention, which is true on a percentage level. But when you start dealing with people, you start dealing with family members, you start dealing with people in life, a lot of these people aren't maybe as aware of you or as woke as you, or you know, however you want to call it. But they might go see the movie and they might bring energy. Everything is energy. Like we always transfer energy, putting energy into shit, taking energy out. Like, you know what I'm saying? So energy is created off energy is the result of what we're doing as spirits. Let me say that. I'm not gonna say everything is energy. Energy is the result of what we're doing. So once we do stuff, boom, then it causes a certain it causes a certain reaction and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because fusion and friction and shit like that, that creates events. And that's what we doing. We fusing together. We taking our mind, what we think and feel about it, and bringing it to another area, in somebody else's area, whether it's up against another thought, or there is a, you know what I'm saying? So this is what we doing. We doing mental work. So, you know what I'm saying? When we get into witchcraft and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? This is what they got us in. So let me get to the movie though. Let me get to the Avatar movie and shit like that. And I'm gonna just break it down really simple, because a lot of this shit you don't even have to like really break down like everything in the movie, the symbolism and all type of shit. It'd be like one or two things that you can see in the movie, and after that, you know the whole movie. For instance, let's talk about Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember the first Spider-Man? I feel like everybody watched that. So the first Spider-Man, you know what I'm saying? It was with Green Goblin and Spider-Man. And Spider-Man, as he got bit by the spider and shit like that. Meanwhile, Green Goblin was going through some shit as well. So what Green Goblin was going through was he was getting kicked off the board by the rulers and the power that had power and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So it was stressing him out. You know what I'm saying? He was hearing voices and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? He was going through it. So he started the war on them niggas and shit like that. And this is an aspect of tyranny that they like to put a person that is rebellious in, when almost the rebellious character in the movie always be right. Like the villain and shit like that, they be having some truth to that shit. But they always put them in a light, in the algorithm. Yes, and we can call this algorithms because that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But they always put them in a light to where, you know what I'm saying, they the negative person, or you know what I'm saying? So, you know, he went to go blow them bitches up and shit like that. And he was super mad and shit. And then he hit Spider-Man and shit like that. He was like, well, you need to join me or we're gonna blow this shit up. Now, Spider-Man, his happy-go-lucky ass, he and his ego, he not really realizing the world. He just trying to be a good person. So all he doing is saving kids. You know what I'm saying? He's saving Mary Jane and shit. You know what I'm saying? He's stopping little petty crimes and shit. But he ain't stopping no government shit though. He ain't stopping niggas from. He ain't know why Green Goblin was really stressed out. You know what I'm saying? Green Goblin was really stressed out because, you know what I'm saying, he didn't want to have to do the business like that in the first place. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to have to get kicked off a board of a company he created in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So Green Goblin had a right to be mad a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But that's how they do. So and then they make them fight. You know what I'm saying? Your morality, Spider-Man and shit like that, what your morality should be predicated on, which is Spider-Man and shit like that, and Green Goblin. You know what I'm saying? Your dismorality within their spectrum and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's slick. It's a little slick shit that they be putting out, but these always influence us because movies are subconscious, and subconscious, you know what I'm saying, is way more powerful than the conscious, because the subconscious is what creates this realm for us to, you know, experience and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's why emotions are more powerful and shit like that. You ain't connecting with shit if you ain't got no emotional influence. You ain't getting no type of influence. You ain't getting no type of people that fuck with you. If people can't feel what you saying and connect to it, you know what I'm saying, with making sense and shit like that, then you ain't getting no type of influence. So you gotta make sure you're doing that as well. So you know that's the type of situation they got us playing with these movies and shit like that. And these movies been rocking us to sleep. You know what I'm saying? It's all type of witchcraft movies. The world is built off of their idea and shit like that. The world is built off of that idea, and y'all help them manifest that with y'all thoughts and feelings and shit like that. Y'all thinking that's normal. So you know what I'm saying? They always show y'all the black people. You know what I'm saying? Shit y'all going through and shit like that. Y'all react and respond to that. They like, we got one. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Blow that bitch up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? For the people that have got into the motherfucking Spider-Man, I mean not Spider-Man, Avatar movie, I'm gonna break down what the people represent and shit like that, and a little representation, so we can just get into the conversation first. So let me break down these people. So the Navi, which is the tree people and shit, the Avatar people, so they represent sheep with spirituality but don't know how to use it. That's what they represent. So they represent sheep with spirituality that don't know how to use it. So like all the conscious community, all the I ain't trying to send shots at love and light, but all the love and light people and shit like that. All the, you know what I'm saying, all the fake woke people. You know what I'm saying? All the fake woke people. You think you got to get dreads. You think you got to uphold a certain persona. You know what I'm saying? You think you got to you know what I'm saying? Those are fake woke people. You know what I'm saying? They're not actually into, you know, concepts and like understanding shit. You know what I'm saying? They think that presentation is going to get them, you know, a space within, you know what I'm saying, into spirituality, into actually doing something that's really unique and God-like, instead of it being something but they want it instead in a way of where they can receive the same benefits from the people that they don't fuck with, which is the government that put them in a position in the first place. So that's number one. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what the Navi, the tree people represent. They represent all y'all that want to go to Kemet, all y'all that want to go to Africa. You know what I'm saying? All y'all that want to go, you know what I'm saying? All y'all that want to do stuff, and that's the like supernatural healthy way that ain't is super, like, you know what I'm saying. So those are all baits and stuff that they put out for y'all to kind of get invested in, to kind of make y'all think y'all can, you know what I'm saying, buy into spirituality, and it's not that way. You know what I'm saying? You it's either in you, or you know what I'm saying, you developing it or not. So that's what they represent. You know what I'm saying? The Navi, they represent, you know what I'm saying, black conscious community, you know what I'm saying, woman is God, them type of people and shit. And also just the regular sheep and shit like that is as into spirituality, but they don't got none. Now, Jake is y'all best guy. You know what I'm saying? Jake is the leader. He the first, he the one that um went into the Avatar land to even motherfucking get into a position where, you know what I'm saying, he can be amongst them. So you know what I'm saying? So they just saying y'all still follow government ways. You know what I'm saying? Like it don't matter. Like y'all, even if y'all go into this I mean this so let's call the Avatar land the subconscious, right? Because it's human, but it's more so you taking on a new shape and form, which is them playing off on a fourth dimensional concept. When you're supposed to take that shape and form, you're supposed to create your own, like your own vision, your own avatar and shit like that. And that be your motherfucker. And you protect that based upon your thoughts and feelings and what you connect to and shit like that. But yeah, Jake, yeah, he represent someone that's amongst y'all that look like y'all, but that's only gonna lead y'all to catastrophic events and shit like that, and war and shit like that. And they like that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? They like Malcolm X type of shit. They like, you know what I'm saying? They like Martin Luther King and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They like that type of shit. So, you know what I'm saying? They don't, but they don't know what, they can't do shit with, you know what I'm saying? Somebody like me, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm in a different lane. So, you know what I'm saying? They want y'all to be some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Be like a leader and shit like that. And ain't nothing wrong with leading, but being a leader in their way. You know what I'm saying? Like going to war with them type shit and shit like that. Instead of understanding and being smart enough to make them realize something that they didn't know, to the point where you got to turn it around and they got to turn around and be like, man, what the fuck is this? Hold on, let's check this out. Let's help him out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of shit. All right. Now, the movie is called The Way of the Water and shit like that. So, you know what I'm saying? Water is our emotions and feelings and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So this lets you know that this whole situation is dealing with feelings and shit like that. The weight of the water, the emotions and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? All that shit that's going on. And basically they got a representation for everything that's going on. They had the drill sergeant lady, the super masculine lady. They had, you know what I'm saying, the avatars with dreads and shit like that. They had people clicking up in soul groups. They had black on black crime, which would be avatar crime. They had, you know what I'm saying, all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? They had machine guns and shit like that. They had the sky people, which kind of just represents at the time of the war that we got going on with the mind and shit like that, using the internet and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? They had the little boy die and shit like that, get killed. You know what I'm saying? At the end and shit like that. Yeah, real good witchcraft. Real good witchcraft. Come to our conclusions, bitch. Come to our conclusions that y'all people ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all all separate and y'all can't goddamn do a goddamn thing and shit like that. Y'all don't know how to come together. Y'all don't know how to listen to y'all actual leaders. Yeah, fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? Fuck y'all. Come to our conclusions, bitch. That's what they saying. Come to our conclusions. All right. But yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Then they got the beast. They had the beast in the movie. So the beast just represents your beastly natures. And this is anytime you feel like you can, you know what I'm saying, you get super aroused by the internet. You know what I'm saying? This whole shit is about the internet and shit like that. And the war they got going on between, you know what I'm saying, your mind. Your mind is Pandora and shit like that. That's the place they stay. Now Pandora is basically a container, a box. You know what I'm saying? It's the knowledge of, you know what I'm saying, you being it's the knowledge of kind of like it's the same concept as um the Apple and Eve and shit like that. So it's the knowledge of the desire and shit like that. That's why if you open Pandora's box, it's a negative thing and shit like that. And so you need to contain that and shit like that. You need to square that out because anytime we in our desires, we see those shit get done. You know what I'm saying? Anytime we in our desires, we see, you know what I'm saying, don't know, we not building no buildings. You know what I'm saying? We not coming up with no knowledge, or we, you know what I'm saying, we just fucking out of wedlock. We just using our vibrators and, you know what I'm saying, using all the type of shit. You know what I'm saying? That's Pandora's box. You know what I'm saying? You too into Pandora's box. So you ain't progressing and shit like that. You ain't really elevated your mind. You ain't really tuned up your mind yet. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's where they live at. They live on Pandora. So they live on desires and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And so anytime y'all live in y'all desires, y'all ain't getting together as a community, coming together with strategy and shit like that. They invading y'all shit. You know what I'm saying? They invaded y'all shit. They, and you know what I'm saying? Now they not only doing it, they didn't done it with the physical. The physical already sold up and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Now they trying to do it in the mind and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So y'all just got to be careful and shit like that because the mind is where it starts. So once they get to y'all mind, that's when they got y'all and shit like that. So this is where it starts and shit like that. This is why you got people like me, Cito, the spirit coach, being here to show people that we got to wake up our mind and get our ass in the game because, you know, motherfuckers ain't playing with us. So like I said, your beast represents your fucking beastly natures. So anytime you get emotionally aroused and shit like that, you know what I'm saying, and you got to be a beast about something, especially if it's something for the shadow government promises, which is security, safety, stability, and shelter. So that would be like you know, money and shit like that. Anytime you got to become a super beast and shit like that, you know what I'm saying, and You know what I'm saying? You go against family and you think you can emotionally manipulate somebody and shit like that, and get people to emotionally respond, even to them killings and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Where we got what's homeboy name? What's his name? Mercy, or homeboy that got killed by them black cops. I don't know his name, but for the most part, you know what I'm saying? That's our beast. So that's when our beast come out. Oh, we can't do nothing. Black people need to stick together. Oh. You know what I'm saying? Or no, this is injustice or whatever and shit like that. Now y'all in y'all beastly natures because y'all responding from emotions, not from thought, not from logic, not from assessing the situation. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that's another spell that they got kind of going on right now on the internet, where it's a lot of people emotionally responding on the internet and shit like that. And this is how we become Jake Sully. We taking the same guns that they got, you know what I'm saying, using them and shit like that, and using them for war and shit like that. We're not even using logic. You know what I'm saying? So this is why more other avatars had guns and shit like that in this movie. You know what I'm saying? They had more. They was using more of the weapons and shit like that because they realized, look, I'm gonna tell you first, if you any type of avatar, if you any type of situation where you manifest some shit that is close to Earth, I don't care how special y'all think the avatars is. They ain't shit. They manifested something where Earth people, humans can get in contact with them. Fuck them. Fuck the avatars. They ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? They wasn't shit. But yeah, they was too close to humans and shit like that. They deserve to get taken over and shit like that. So your human just represent, you know what I'm saying, your motherfucking you being lost in the physical in some way, shape, or form. And you're not only physical. You know what I'm saying? You mind, body, and soul and shit like that. You gotta separate those. You gotta know how to separate those. All right. But yeah, so you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so you got the beast, which represents our emotional natures and shit like that. Us trying to respond and fight with our beast and shit like that on the internet right now. We can't do that on the internet. You know what I'm saying? The internet is for us to come up here and conduct affairs and shit like that and create something. And you know what I'm saying? We can be looked at upon as, oh, we creating the new shit, or we creating a new Facebook and shit like that. Recreating a new Twitter and shit like that. You don't even know which what's the name, which social media I use the most. My shit like a combination of all and shit like that. So you know what I'm saying? Hey, I got my own process where you can surf and see those shit and you can find little crevices and rooms and shit like that. That's how it's supposed to be when we get on the internet. We supposed to be creating shit. You know what I'm saying? Not trying to actually become tribes and shit like that on the internet and shit like that. Shit can't be done on the internet. You know what I'm saying? That shit can't be done on that shit. We can get information on the internet. We can associate ourselves and shit like that. We can show what our interests are, and we can put our shit into the internet. You know what I'm saying? Our ideas into the internet and let people know more about ourselves, about our individuality and shit like that. And maybe that can change someone and shit like that. But far as y'all getting all emotional and shit like that and putting y'all emotions all out on the internet, that ain't hot. That ain't what it is. That is not what it is. Okay. So yeah, so so the beast represents your emotional natures and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we wanna make sure that we doing this in real time, you know what I'm saying, and amongst each other, especially even if we is on the internet, doing it in a unique way that don't look like, you know what I'm saying, we just doing anything. We got to be a little bit more constructed and calculated, you know what I'm saying, with shit that we do and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, so you got the false Navi people. So this was like the dude the drill sergeant that came back as an avatar and shit like that. So you know what I'm saying? Them people, they invaded the shit. So they just represent all y'all niggas that infiltrate communities and shit like that. So I was talking about earlier that look like wolf and sheep clothing. Y'all ain't done enough shadow work. That ain't really who y'all are. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't really, you know what I'm saying, the people that y'all just people that come as people and shit like that. And you know what I'm saying? That's what the thing is, like, y'all need to do the shadow work and shit like that and get y'all and stop warring on y'all own people and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that represents. Um, so yeah, so that's basically it. Like that's basically the whole movie. Other than that, they had the little Instagram model on there, the little chick. They had so many representations. I'm like, is this the internet right now that I'm watching? You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So you know what I'm saying? The whole thing is they want y'all to come to the same conclusions. And the conclusion that Jake Sully came to at the end is that, you know what I'm saying, he gotta fight and shit like that. He gotta go to war and shit like that. He can't just be at the, you know what I'm saying, he gotta bring the war to them type shit. You know what I'm saying? And the witchcraft of the movie is the conclusions that was shown in the movie. Us fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? We got to fight each other. You know what I'm saying? We can't trust our family. We can't trust our neighbors. You know what I'm saying? We can't trust the community and shit like that. These is conclusions that they came to, the Jews and them and the motherfucking shadow government and shit like that, and to for them to start constructing some shit in the first place where y'all gotta be ran and shit like that. It wasn't like that's why they created the Bible. They created the Bible because y'all had to be ran, because y'all family and shit like that. So you may think your ancestor this shit, right? You may think one of your ancestors this shit, but your ancestor ain't shit. Your ancestor ain't shit. Look. If your ancestor ain't put you in a position where, you know what I'm saying, you got left to, you know what I'm saying, be in a position of high, um, of highness and shit like that. I don't care what you make up in your mind and shit like that. You talking about Tyre Nichols. Yeah. Shout out to Tyre. Um, but yeah, you know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, if your ancestors ain't put you in a position where you stepping up or you got some position of high authority, other than that shit, like if that shit ain't necessarily real, then you making that up with your mind. You know what I'm saying? You can make it up with your mind. Now, if you can make that up with your mind, then it can make sense, and other people can come together with you and make a lineage, but then you make your ancestry look like something was true and shit like that that's in the world, then you might have a great ancestor. You know what I'm saying? But until then and shit like that, your ancestors got taken over. Your ancestors got you know what I'm saying? Your ancestors is one shit. You know what I'm saying? So you want to hop into this more so spiritual predecessor where you actually tapping into spirits that have been in spaces before you and shit like that that can actually have some type of have information in that space. And we can tap into those spirits all the time. You know what I'm saying? Those spirits that when you are going through a moment where you don't have an idea or a feeling about it, you know what I'm saying? And you're in that space, but you keep that optimism because now you want to, you know what I'm saying, you got that faith and you want to experience something, that spirit that's resonant within that space, whether physical or not, it could manifest physical. That spirit is going to give you information on how to go about that shit like that. But you got to be open to that. Or you're going to be in a spirit where you're going through a situation, a catastrophic moment where you don't have an idea or a feeling and shit like that and then you call on one of the ancestors that wasn't here. I mean, that one of your old ancestors, and they ain't had answers either. Other than that, your ass would be rich right now or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta chill and let them rest and shit. Sometimes they need you the ancestor. I got a video on my YouTube page a long time ago about that. You the ancestor. You know what I'm saying? If you the one that's here that got the motherfucking more further out idea and you have the possibility to change and shit like that, then you're playing out the actual, you know what I'm saying, the ancestry of, you know, actually what needs to go on at the time and moment and shit like that. And they need you and shit like that because they need you. They needed to make the mistakes for you to see where you can take it and shit like that. And then when you go back into your body and leave your body and you go into, you know, the space that you spirit, you're gonna realize that and if you create another form in that realm of reality, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna realize that you were the oldest spirit of them all and they needed you and shit like that. So age ain't necessarily limited on, you know, body and shit like that and shit like that. My mom used tell me that all the time. But you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so this is what they want us to do. So they want us to come to the conclusion, same conclusions that we come to and shit like that, especially with our family, because that's where it's at. When we congregate, when we get together and shit like that, the knowledge we share and shit like that. So it's a lot of hate on people that have knowledge. It's a lot of hate on people that have position. It's a lot of hate on people that have, you know what I'm saying, logic, and they want us to come to the conclusion so we can not be together, and they can keep taking us over, keep taking us over mentally, emotionally, physically. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they get us. That's the witchcraft. So it's simple. It's witchcraft because it's more so, you know what I'm saying, it's more so a hidden agenda, as far as like I said, as far as what they want to emotionally manipulate you into. You know what I'm saying? So if it's a scene where someone is, you know what I'm saying, that look like you, that's getting through some, going through some turmoil or some shit like that, and they give up or some shit like that, and it's playing out as an aspect of a position that you can resonate with and the only thing you can do is cry and shit like that. That's the conclusion they want you to come to. So that's witchcraft, because you could have came up to with your own conclusion before that, but since you're not mentally strong enough and shit like that, this is how we allow videos and movies to subconsciously influence us and not have our own mind. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty simple. It's like a pretty simple thing and shit like that. So that's the thing. So right now we got the moon in Cancer. So the moon is in Cancer right now. So we all we all responding and reacting to our family, our home, our comfort. You know what I'm saying? Our foundation. You know what I'm saying? Our emotions. And right now, you know what I'm saying, the sun is in Aquarius. So we're associating. We're trying to get the associations within our family, in our home, you know what I'm saying, and how we feel about shit in our heart space the right way, you know what I'm saying? So it will be a good time. Actually, let me read the shit. Let me see the shit. Private or family associations, right? You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So like I said, the moon slid home into Cancer, which brings birth to new emotions, feelings about the home, family, and private matters and internal affairs. So yeah. So Cancer. So what is the moon? Our moon is our moods, our emotions, our feelings, and shit like that. And right now it's in Cancer. So anytime where the moon is at, that's what we know we're going to be kind of connecting to. And so since it's an internal element, so the moon is a reflection, we call it our reaction. So we connect to that reaction and shit like that, wherever it's at. So we reacting because we trying to feel it, you know what I'm saying? So we reacting to home, family, domestic issues, and private matters and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Cardinal water, creating and initiating new ways to feel. And that comes from the heart. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you create a new way to feel about something, you got to connect with it. You know what I'm saying? So, now, and the sun is currently in Aquarius, and that's fixed air. That's fixated air. So that's being fixated on your own way of thinking and communicating and shit like that. So right now, it would be a good time to add emotional foundation, to your plans. You know what I'm saying? What is your association? How do you associate yourself as an individual? That's Aquarius. That's how it look. You know what I'm saying? That's how it's going to appear. Aquarius, that's how it's going to look. That's how it's going to appear. So you should be seeing your associations with, you know what I'm saying, how you do, you should be seeing your associations and reacting to the feeling of them. Do you feel comfortable with them? Do you need to create a new feeling about this shit? You know what I'm saying? Do you need to create a new emotion about this? Do you need to connect to this in a new way? You know what I'm saying? Do we need to get straight within how our team is ran, or how, how we conduct in our emotions within our team and people that we know, and the ideas and shit like that? Do we feel comfortable going public with it? You know what I'm saying? Do we feel comfortable as a group associating ourselves a specific way to get us, not even to get a result, but do we feel comfortable with associating ourselves a specific way? Why is it important for our family? Why is it important for our, that type of shit? You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of shit we get when the moon is in Cancer and the sun is in, when the moon is in Leo. So for this next couple of days, we about to have a full moon in Leo, and anytime the full moon in Leo, the dramatics come out. Whether it's, you know what I'm saying, it's a fire sign. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Anytime we have Leo, a lot of, as Dolo say, a lot of shit hit the fan. You know what I'm saying? So, everybody gonna be emotionally aroused to express some shit, but it may come out in a way that's changing, rebellion, or opposite. You know what I'm saying? Because the moon is going to be here and the sun is going to be 180 degrees away from it, which is at the bottom and shit like that. So we're going to have a full moon. So We're gonna be want to emotionally. We're gonna feel. We're gonna want to feel super emotionally connected to how we see ourselves, our character, and what we're acting upon, and shit like that, and how we're expressing ourselves. So people can be like super attention whores. You know what I'm saying? People. You know what I'm saying? You might be in a you know what I'm saying? No, no, we're not gonna say no negative things or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? When shit being Leo, you know what I'm saying? A lot of shit get dramatic. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit get dramatic and a lot of shit get fired. So, just make sure that y'all getting y'all energy work in before we get to that Leo and shit like that. When that Leo come, y'all can kind of, you know what I'm saying, just ride the wave and shit like that. Don't put too much energy in when the moon is full. You know what I'm saying? When the moon is full, you want to relax. When the moon is full, you want to calm down and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You want to know that your work is done as far as energy work and shit like that. And energy work is just being able to ride the transits and through each transit put a specific put that bitch on task and shit like that. And this is kind of you learning your circle, your circle. But yeah, so that's what's going on when we got the moon about to go into Leo. You know what I'm saying? Shit about to get dramatic and shit like that. So y'all just make sure y'all watch out for the post that I got coming out and shit like that and all that. But overall, the whole point of that shit is and shit like that is for us to come to the same conclusions that you know um what I'm saying, that we coming that they came to and shit like that, so that y'all can either work for them, you know what I'm saying, or work for them behind the scenes, or work for them in the public sense. You know what I'm saying, where you just gotta go get a job or something like that, or you just gotta go. You know what I'm saying. Not saying the job is bad. You know what I'm saying. The job is, you can use a job, but I'm just saying you ain't using it nothing. You ain't using it for nothing. You ain't using it for your goal. You're not using it for your gift. You know what I'm saying. You're not using it for anything. You know what I'm saying. You just pay living paycheck to paycheck and shit like that. So we gotta so when it comes to like conducting situations and shit like that, this is what they want us to do. You know what I'm saying? And so it just seemed convenient for us to be more separate. It just seemed convenient for us to, what I'm saying, ask people who don't give a fuck about us a ride. You know what I'm saying? Well, it just can seem more convenient to spend more monies on Uber and shit like that. Not create our own Uber. You know what I'm saying? As a family, as a community, as a motherfucking, as an association, what I'm saying? It just seemed more convenient. You know what I'm saying? It seemed more convenient for you to be alone right now. And I talked about that with my Jupiter and Aries um, 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 video. They got us going through the knowledge of being alone right now and shit like that. Go check that out. But you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it just seemed more convenient. It just seemed more convenient that we should be alone, that we should be apart. You know what I'm saying? That we should be fighting each other and shit like that, fighting people that look like us. That we should be jumping on people and making the people that actually may bring something that can make sense look, you know what I'm saying, make them look retarded and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Let's use the social media to war on them and shit like that. Let's use social media, you know what I'm saying, to make them, you know what I'm saying, to make them bow down to us. Let's use social media. Let's use our war. Let's use our war tactics. Let's use our subconscious war. Avatar head ass. You know what I'm saying? Avatar head ass. Avatar head ass. You are avatar. You know what I'm saying? We out of that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get out of that. You know what I'm saying? Let's it's convenient for you to think, your no, it's not. It's not convenient. It's not convenient for you to think your family member or you know what I'm saying? It's not. You know what I'm saying? And so that's when we gotta get to shadow work and dealing with, the insecurities we may have and shit like that, and stop being scared of life and people. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the basis of it. A lot of us be scared of life in our own mind. And if you scared of your own mind and shit like that, god damn it, what the fuck you think you gonna be scared of somebody? You think you not gonna be scared of somebody else? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you live in a mystical world. You live in a world where a motherfucker come up with a big ass face like you and start talking to you about some shit that you don't fucking know about. And you get scared and you get in your insecurities. Oh, I'm black. Oh, I deserve this. Oh, no, the fuck you don't. You better relate to that person and start having conversations and shit and like that and start, you know what I'm saying? This life. And that's the only way we getting somewhere is we actually into some shit. You know what I'm saying? We actually into a mind that we can, you know what I'm saying, that we can make ours. You know what I'm saying? So it's just gotta, it gotta be on some accord and shit like that because y'all they trying to get us into too much convenience of not being together and shit like that and shit like that. Well, and me, I'm Zeus, so it's like I'm gonna have this information anyway. I'm gonna have this information anyway. I'm gonna be me anyway, so it's gonna work out, and that's all you gotta do is be yourself. They just made y'all scared to be yourself. That's it. That's it. You gotta practice witchcraft on. You know what I'm saying? You ain't believe in yourself. You gotta practice witchcraft on. I don't care if it was a theologian. I don't care if it was a nigga that had, you know what I'm saying, a bucket hat. I don't care who it was. You know what I'm saying? If they made you redirect your shit into a more negative aspect where you didn't take time into your gifts and your talents and you ain't believe into yourself and shit like that, you got to practice witchcraft on. And guess what? You the spirit. You allowed it. You allowed it. You know what I'm saying? You allowed it. And shit like that. And that's the conclusion, another conclusion they want you to come to. That you ain't shit and you can't do shit because you in a world full of evil and shit like that. Boom. And they still running the world at that point. So these is the conclusions they want you to come to. These is the conclusions they want you to come to. You know what I'm saying? So we just gotta be careful and pick our and know what's going on and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it shouldn't be us fighting against each other. What the fuck we fight, especially on the internet and shit like that. If I'm coming on the internet and I'm putting something out and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? This is for an example for what you could do. You know what I'm saying? What you can do and shit like that and whatever. But it's like when I participate, it don't be fair or some shit like that. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so this is the witchcraft. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, witchcraft is just another word for anytime you emotionally manipulate somebody. You know what I'm saying? Emotionally manipulate somebody and shit like that. And you can either do that for good purposes or you can emotionally manipulate yourself. You know what I'm saying? And this is the aspect of you using your getting out of your mind and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Using your mind as your bitch. You know what I'm saying? Taking yourself through a circumstance and taking your and knowing and having an idea about the thought you're gonna come to and use everything that you're going through and direct that towards that idea and shit like that. And that'll be, you know what I'm saying, your little spell or your little ritual and how you gain energy and arouse yourself. You know what I'm saying, to get to that goal no matter what and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't do that and shit like that. So they made y'all that God energy got a specific energy behind it and shit like that. And if you gotta use it in the right context, if you don't use it in the right context, you're not necessarily using it in the way that they was trying to say it. You know what I'm saying? You might think God a floating person outside of you and shit like that. So that's only going to lead your mind to you finding another person that may have that energy that you got and shit like that. Because that's what you're looking for in an esoteric realm, in an internal realm first. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to direct that in another space where, you know what I'm saying, God is all possibilities in some way. And that you can, and then you the only piece that God need that can make that possible in some way. So, this is movie witchcraft and shit like that. And it's been happening for years and shit like that. It's just one movie, but all movies pretty much they simple and they damn near the same and shit like that. They all got symbolisms and the same morals and principles, and they all live in the same world. So, until we get together where we can create our movies and shit like that, and our ideals can come to life that can be of better service, then we ain't shit. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's what y'all gotta realize. We ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what they want us to come to, the conclusion. That's what they want y'all to come to, at least. I ain't even in that. I'm different. They already know what I'm here for. I'm here to communicate the stars and expand this bitch. I'm a number 9. But I be lying. Shit. Click some. But yeah, so So make sure y'all not falling and shit like that, falling for the okie doke and shit like that. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense that we getting rocked to sleep by witchcraft and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have too much going on and shit like that to be, you know what I'm saying? We, that's, I ain't even gonna get into it. But overall, I appreciate everyone for coming out for this live and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Now we know, you know what I'm saying? So get ready, get prepared for this full moon and shit like that. They're gonna bring some that every time Black History Month and shit like that, they just show black people like y'all ain't shit. So y'all shouldn't even do no black shit this history month. Be spirits and bodies and shit like that. And whatever, because that's what they do. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do. They don't care what spirit. That as long as that spirit have a certain mind and a certain blood flow, which is the imagination of that mind and how it thinks and how it lines its principles and shit like that. You can be fucking Asian, you can be, you know what I'm saying, red, yellow, you can be any type of whatever you want to be. And shit like that. They're gonna be like, oh, he one of our family. He just chose a different body. She one of our family, but she just chose a different body and shit like that. Because that's what they look for. They look for their mind. What is you creating? You know what I'm saying? And if you create some shit, they're gonna be like, oh, that's you part of us. You been created some shit with us before and shit like that. This is how they get people famous and shit like that. This is how you can't get famous and shit like that, but somebody else can get famous real quick because they might have certain principles and virtues of being able to sacrifice themselves, for the government shit that you don't have. You know what I'm saying? Because your spirit might not resonate with that. So you might be here to create something different and shit like that. But if you just sitting around like, damn, why it ain't happening for me? And this is when you know what I'm saying, you could be, like you missed the point and shit like that. You missed the point. You missed what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So if you are born in a family that is, you know what I'm saying, more prosperous and shit like that and all that shit, your family was a family that was closer to having the mind of the people that created the world right now. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of us still say that ain't shit. So it's all about being aware and shit like that. And don't cry. We can't cry. We can't cry and be like, oh, we can't do nothing with this, or you know what I'm saying? Like I said, that's the conclusion they want you to come to. But when you would what they're really calling God and shit like that, which is just all possibilities, and you're in a space of that and shit like that, you can come to so many conclusions. God will give you endless ideas and abilities and thoughts and feelings to kind of go about something and shit like that. As long as you stay and remain on task and shit, you know what I'm saying? You'll be good. Remain on mission, have intent, have purpose, and do it because do it for nothing, nobody and shit like that. This is just what we do. We come to better conclusions. We come to better outcomes. We come to better ideas. We come to better feelings. We come to better, this is what we're here to do. You know what I'm saying? And shit, y'all be getting stuck in the guidance system. Whatever. So you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what they got us on, just shit like that. That's what the movie about. Us just fighting on the internet for this past year or so, couple years, us fighting on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Us fighting against each other. They just made a movie out of it. You know what I'm saying? G.I. Joe Jane lady leading the pack. You know what I'm saying? Your beast and shit like that. You fighting with your beast, and shit like that. Thinking you can really do some shit like that on the internet. So you gotta create some type of extra creature in your head that actually thinks it can influence people on the internet, but not in real life and shit like that. So you think you like a subconscious beast or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Think you're a subconscious beast. You know what I'm saying? You think your beast is you know what I'm saying? You think you can just waddle in the water and shit like that, and have get somebody a real spirit, or you know what I'm saying, somebody that's into this shit for real, emotional reaction or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they got good witchcraft in that. And so this is kind of like I said, this affect our communities and shit like that. You might not even went to go see the movie, but a lot of people went to go see this movie. They made 20 billion off of it. So your ass, it's all about mass. It's all about what's done. It's all about influence and shit like that. So if more of a percentage level of the people is doing some shit, a lot of those thoughts and feelings that they carry back from that movie is in your household, or is in your neighborhood, or is in your creativity. And not only that, they gonna do shit like the Tyree Nichols shit, that all the other shit to get motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying, emotionally involved. And now we really react and responding. So it's just all lost and shit like that. So you know what I'm saying? You really want to get into this shit the right way if you really want to be, you know what I'm saying, on some shit in your life. Um, and that's the only way. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only way. It ain't no other way. It ain't no other way. So, you know what I'm saying? You either get with people that's like minded and try to learn and do your shadow work and shit like that, you know, all that. Now, I got some outlets and shit like that. You can follow me on Instagram, where I be talking about astrology and shit all the time. I do lives all the time here on YouTube. I got a membership and shit like that, where you get to contact me personally, like, you know what I'm saying. So as a coach, I'm like a mentor there and shit like that, and that's what it's for. You know what I'm saying. I got people that that's there for information and knowledge and educational purpose and shit like that. You know what I'm saying. And I got my real life that's separate from that, and I got people in there that's really helping me down, holding this down. Shout out Star Girl. Um, and you know what I'm saying, we got the music shit popping, music, you know what I'm saying, musically, you know what I'm saying. We got the album out, and we creating the community online and shit like that. So make sure y'all all tap in and keep it up, man. Like, but yeah, so just the knowledge is out there. So once the knowledge is out, I'll be ready to get on to the next subject, and I'll be done and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing God's work, and I don't care if it's one person or a million in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Thank y'all for watching. Get y'all ass in the game.